I fancy myself a handyman. My father was a carpenter, much like Jesus. And when I was a boy, he taught me to use different tools to accomplish various goals and tasks. First, he taught me to use a hammer. And many years later, more complicated tools, like the power drill.
So you come up with all this crazy stuff you want to do, and you know you have no budget. So what makes you say this is the next project? And what makes you pull the trigger and say, all right, we're doing it now?
Well, actually, because software plays a huge part in it. I mean, we're at a time and a place now, technology-wise, where we've got After Effects and Action Essentials and all these other programs that can really create some magic.
And not only can they do it, you've got people online who are doing crazy tutorials and everything.
Absolutely.
The Video Copilot and all that stuff that'll show you how to have a jet fighter blow up a bridge, for no money.
Not that we get that crazy with our stuff, but pretty much.
Maybe the ninja is flying the jet plane.
There you go.
You never know.
Season 2. But that kind of helped me out a lot. And originally I had written it as a feature, and it was totally different. It was darker. It was more drama, more action, and kind of a grindhouse flick, a true grindhouse flick. But as I got into pre-production for that, I realized I was at least going to be about 65 grand in the hole on that one, at least. And I kind of stopped having fun with the process because it was going to be my first feature, and it was just.
And you don't want to get discouraged that early on, yeah.
No, I was at I was thinking I was at a party one night and I was talking with a female cinematographer, and we were talking about the cameras we were using, and she had mentioned that she had a Panasonic DVX. And I said, well, that's exactly what I've got. And I said, but it's over, they're obsolete, they're done, it's just standard def, and everyone's going to high def now. People are running around with Reds and, 5Ds and all these high def cameras. And I don't know, it hit me a couple days later that, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, everyone's watching movies on the small screen anyways, on YouTube and Vimeo. So, in a window this small, standard def can work. And I wanted to get some more mileage out of my equipment. So I said, I'm going to go for it. I relieved myself all the pressure that I was feeling for the feature, and I rewrote the whole thing, and ideas just flooded me. Like I said, I started with the list, and I was just having a great time putting it together. And it was fun because now I could do anything, and now I didn't have to worry about making things perfect. It was just about having fun. I mean, I just knew that there wasn't gonna be any money behind it, and we were just gonna do it for fun. And originally, I was planning on shooting one episode a day, but it didn't work out that way. And I just thought it was gonna be ultra silly, low budget. But once we got into it, everyone I was working with, were coming from film schools, and they're professionals, and very talented people.
Yeah.
And we all just kind of got into it just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And wanted to make it a little bit better. Now, clearly, we could go further, and we could make it better, but no one's getting paid. We all do this for the love of it, and we have to draw the line somewhere. But it's funny the further out we drew it. It took 3 and 4 days to shoot an episode, sometimes 5 days, depending on whatever's going on, and but it works. It works, and sometimes we have to say enough's enough on production and say, we have to kind of hang it up at a certain point because of the nature of the show, and that's some of the stuff I was thinking about when I first started on. We could almost get away with anything, making mistakes, continuity errors, and bad acting, any of that. It would serve the show even better. It would just make it funnier.
Right, it just fits the style. Like you said, you're throwing back to those old 70s and 80s cop movies. The standard def camera actually works in your favor a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. If we got the exposure, blown out, perfect. And shitty camera work, that's fine. Anything. It all works. I mean, if you got a lot of grain in the picture, that's good. Sometimes I've cranked up the grain, just to the gain, just to the electronic gain, just to
actually make it look a little bit worse, just so it fits the vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've learned a lot since we've
Mm-hmm.
been producing it, and I know you can put that in post now. But I don't know. I'm a little bit nuts, so I like
Yeah.
to do a lot of things in camera.
Well, it's more fun that way, you know, and it actually,
Sure.
you know, in a lot of cases, it actually looks a lot more real. You know, that blood splatter that you get in a special effects pack
Right.
on, you know, with After Effects. You know, you can only do so much keying that in,
True.
and it still never looks quite as good as somebody with a, you know, with a blood pack
Yeah.
just, you know, splattering all over
We've
everything.
definitely had some real blood on the lens.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We've had both, but it's always good when it's real. Practical's the best, I think.
So as you've gone along, have you upgraded? You know, the obviously the production values have gone up a little bit. You know, by the 4th episode, I think he even had some aerial photos in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, obviously you got a big gunfight and everything, and a little more high-end tricks and everything. Have you upgraded your equipment? You know, is there some stuff? Is some of the things that have changed been just a result of like the style has changed, or has some of it just been what's available to you?
No, I think we all just have a lot of fun making it, and we get better and better, and we put more into it, and we've kind of established a groove. A lot of us that work together really kind of fell into sync with each other, and
You get that shorthand where it's like,
Exactly.
I bet this shot would look cool. And it's like, yeah, it would, you know?
Right,
That's exactly
yeah.
what I was thinking.
So as far as the aerial stuff goes, that was actually kindly given to us by StreamWorks out of Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah, and that was the only shot in the whole series so thus far that that wasn't something that we took ourselves.
Did they do it for you, or was it some stock footage they had?
There was some stock, and there was a large amount, and I combed through all of it. And the lady that runs StreamWorks was nice enough to, let me select any clip I wanted, and I
Oh,
found a
cool.
particular piece, and so
Now,
that
how'd
was.
you get that connection? Is this again like just this is what happens when you go to these film meetups and you run into people, or is that more of as the reputation of the show grew, you were
Yeah.
able to get more connections, or is it just one of those cold calling things?
Well, no, I mean it's a small community, and most people around here either know each other or know of each other, and Facebook ties in a lot to it as well. Everyone's got a page, or some people that you know each other from Facebook for 2 or 3 years, and then you finally meet or you finally work together, and that happens a lot. And
Yeah.
I think I was through another associate turned on to them, and I just reached out to her, and she liked the show, and
That's cool.
so yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other filmmakers around here that our projects are, crisscrossing, actors and actresses crisscross. I mean, I've had actors come to my set and they're like, okay, gotta go to this other filmmaker's set, and I'm like, all right, have a good one,
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
fun.
again, you're not paying people. You got to kind of work around everyone's schedule. But then again, everyone's helping each other out.
Sure,
so
yeah, if it works, if it works, it works. I mean, if we can normally work out the schedules ahead of time, but everyone's been very, very great to work with, and I haven't really had too many problems with people. So
Now, when you get out there to shoot a scene, I assume you got everything written out. I mean, do you have a real strong vision of what you're going for, or again, is that kind of
I do.
shorthand developed over time so that you can just kind of let people do their thing and see what happens?
Well, usually the shorthand only exists with the crew, because we're always together. But the actors, a lot of the actors and actresses kind of come and go.
Okay.
They come in, they do their bit, and some people are coming from 3 or 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So I may only work with them once, but we do have some regulars, some of the main cast that there is kind of a shorthand. And with those people, or with any of the actors, usually I'm pretty sure of what I'm doing. I've got a strong vision. I'm usually 90-95% sure of what I want. I do write most things. Some things are written to a T and detailed, and
A lot of more complicated stuff, I bet.
yeah, like for example, Mr. Angel's dialogue in episode 3, where it's the whole bit about his father, being a carpenter. That was carefully crafted and paced in a certain way, and Owen being the professional that he is, we had shot 2 giant scenes that day with him, with giant monologues, and he had the whole thing down, totally professional, knew all of his lines, and things like that. Those are heavily scripted, and those need to be executed as such. But there are other episodes or scenes that are open for they're open more for ad-libbing and improvising, or we're experimenting around a little bit. Some of the action scenes, perhaps, and certain little things we got to experiment and play with.
So you think you play around with the action scenes more than you do some of the dialogue scenes? Because it's usually the other way around. I mean, granted, people usually have like multi-million-dollar budgets, and there's tons of people standing around, so you got to know exactly what you're doing. And it's the dialogue where they let people mess around a little bit. But like when you do, what was it, episode 2, the fight in the parking lot?
Right. Yeah.
That's a little more just not necessarily make it up as you go, but a little more, I guess, figure it out as you go.
Well, I knew certain things going into it.
You got your beats.
Yeah, I knew the joke and the punchline. I knew that he was going to be like begging for his life and crying, like a softie, and then turn the tables on him. I knew that, and I knew who I wanted there to be in it. But as far as exactly the actions, since this isn't some $1 million production, we were training for months before this. And
right.
We didn't have like 10 fight choreographers, and so on the spot we'll say, okay. Well, you take a swing at me, we'll do this here, he'll duck there, and we're going to hit him 2 times. No, let's hit him 3 times. So we'll figure it out on the spot, because we can't keep coming back and shooting this scene 2 or 3 days.
Right.
We don't really have that luxury on the show. So we get it done fast, and we figure out the best route once we get there, and we hammer down the details, in other words, whether on set once we get there for whatever scene. There are always little things, little variables that change. This door's a little closer than we thought it was, or the ceiling's a little lower than we thought, and we have to improvise on set. But the actors, they do. There is space where they improvise, and some want to and need that, and it serves them best. Lee Armstrong, for example.
Yeah.
Lee Armstrong, he's an amazing actor, and he really works well if you give him, some space to improvise, and
you give him the parameters and say you can work within this.
Right, and he, he always, kind of pushes that line and, almost tips over it. He's pretty amazing. He's interesting to work with, but he's very unique, very special, and if you give him the space to improvise, he can really create some magic.